Fire Department, what's the address of your emergency?
Fire at 16th Street in Glen Rose. It's an office building.
The building is on fire?
Yes, ma'am.
17 West 17, engine 5, ladder 9, engine 705, battalion 2, South Deputy, Channel 5. Structure fire at 60th Street in Glen Rose on the east side of the street.
We responded north on 16th Street. We're right around probably a mile south of the fire. We saw a pretty heavy column of smoke, so we knew we had something working. My on-scene report, we had heavy smoke coming from the cooler and also some of the roof turbines that were there. We saw no active fire from the exterior at that time, just some heavy smoke through some, and also from the front of the building we had a little bit of smoke.
Engine 705 clear.
Engine 705, go ahead.
Engine 705 is on the scene of a medium-sized commercial building, bow-strung roof with a working fire. Engine 705 will be handjacking the line, taking the line for search and rescue. 705 will be 16th Street Command. We are in the offensive strategy.
My incident action plan as I pulled up originally was to get a line, force the front door, go inside and check the truss space. And if we had fire in the truss space, our MP state, anytime we have fire in the truss space of a bow-strung roof, that it's a defensive fire and we pull out. So the plan was originally to get in there, check the truss space, and if we did have active fire to pull out. If not, we proceed inside, get a search, and then get back up with some other crews. Right as we got there and Billy hooked up our line, our engineer, we pulled a 2-inch line. We were making our access. Engine 17 then chimed in. I had them lay another line to the north side of the structure and then pull another line to back us up on the interior.
Engine 9 south. 16th Street Command, Engine 9. Engine 9. Why don't you bring your crew up here, Mark, pull another line off 705 and back us up. We're going to check the ag space. This appears it could be a defensive fire. We're going to be in a marginal situation right now until we get this thing forced.
Engine 9, Mark chimed in right after that and said that right as we were forcing and charging our line, that we had fire venting through the roof. From our vantage point, we couldn't see that because we were right in front of the structure. What we found out later that to be was a covered up skylight that had burned through very quickly.
Engine 9 to command, Vinny, it's venting through the roof right now. That's affirmative. 16th Street Command, 2 alarm.
Chief, stand go.
Emergency traffic, please. 16th Street Command, all units operating on 16th Street. We are going defensive. I repeat, this is a defensive fire. Defensive fire.
Like I said, as soon as we charged the line and we're actually thinking about forcing the door, that's when Mark said we had fire venting through the roof. So it was just game over after that. We backed out, pulled our lines out, and then I believe Chief Pilecki got on the scene shortly thereafter that, after I called for emergency traffic and went defensive.
Battalion 2 to alarm. I will be assuming command, give me a balance of the first alarm.
Vinny Condrick was on engine 705, gave an excellent on-scene report, painted the picture we want to hear as a command officer responding. We talk about on-scene reports all the time and how critical they are, and in this case it was. You could tell he had a good look at the building. He considered his fire ground factors, and of course in this case the biggest ones were the building construction and the extent of the fire. It's very difficult for firefighters not to fight offensively. When we wrote this building off, there was a lot of building left. And again, that's very difficult for us to write off a building. But at this point, we went by our risk management profile. We went by our MPs. We're not going to risk a firefighter's life in a building that's so unstable as a bow-strung building.
They've had instances where these bow-strung buildings have fallen down even when they're not burning, just all of a sudden collapsed. And with this fire, 99 times out of 100, this might be that number one where maybe the structural integrity of this building was at the point where it could have been put out. but it wasn't worth the life of a firefighter, because maybe those other 99 times it would have fallen down and killed somebody. So in my mind, there's no building worth the life of a firefighter.
Actually, this fire in this building, probably in any other building, we'd have put it out. They would have made an interior attack. In the case of the Bowstrung, and we had a compromise of the structure, we're out. It didn't fall down. We all waited for it to fall down. We hardened the exterior, got everybody away, the walls cracked, and the building didn't fall down. But to us as a command team, it didn't matter. The right decision was made initially. We supported that decision.
5 years ago, things might have been a little different about the way we consider these bigger buildings or commercial structures, and especially Bowstrung roofs. I think today we're fighting fire smarter than we were back then. I think back then we took some chances, and I think the city of Phoenix was real lucky with some of the chances we might have taken in some of these buildings. And with our training, the command training center, and some of the things that the state-of-the-art that the Phoenix Fire Department has now, is put us beyond that, to think that, to have that, the risk management profile, and to live by that with everything that we go to. Every situation we go into, we look at that risk management profile. What are we risking and what are we gaining? In the old days when I was a newer firefighter and an engineer, it was like we'd go into these buildings and put these fires out, and then Monday we might have took a chance to do that, and then Monday the bulldozers come and knock it down. And what did we save? We didn't save anything for the building owner. We didn't. Sure, it might have been a little macho. We went into that building, took some heat, melted our helmets, and put the fire out. But in my mind, I think we're a safer, more progressive fire department now than we've ever been. And our training and some of the MPs that are in place for us now about these structures, it's pretty cut and dry. When you encounter a situation, and we've trained on these things, that when you get into a situation that we've trained on the command training center or in just regular company training, that there's no gray area anymore. It's cut and dry. If you've got this, you're out of the building. If you've got fire in a truss base of a Bowstrung roof, it's not worth risking the lives of firefighters over. Get everybody out, let the building burn, and let's put it out from the outside.
We talk about this being a basic operation once we've gone defensive, and it is at the defensive point, but if it starts out wrong, it becomes a nightmare. And that's where the key to this operation is the first two captain coming in, making a strong evaluation of what's going on, managing the scene initially before we get there. Defensive sounds real easy. Getting to the defensive part is the hard part, and that decision was made before we pulled up, and that's very refreshing for us as responding command officers, that our guys and gals are making such great decisions pulling up the buildings.